It's municipal election night in Montreal. I'm Tina Tenneriello, and we are live at La Tohu in Saint-Michel, the headquarters of Ensemble Montréal. And their leader, Soraya Martinez Ferrada, is hoping to become the new mayor of Montreal tonight. I'm joined by Karim Boulos, political analyst and former Montreal Borough Councillor. Karim, thank you so much for being here.
It's always a pleasure.
So it's quiet right now, we should say, because the doors have not yet opened. It opens at 8:30 after the polls shut down. But talk to us a little bit about Soraya.
Well, Soraya has a tremendous amount of experience. People remember her most recently as a former Minister of Tourism for Canada, part of the Trudeau cabinet. But she got her start working here at the Tohu and then went on to municipal politics. She was a councillor for Saint-Michel. She was in the leadership role with the Mayor Tremblay's Union Montreal. She then worked for Vision Montreal. She was chief of staff to Louise Harel in the opposition. She worked as minister with Mélanie Joly as a chief of staff at the federal level. Then she ran. She's covered a lot of ground. She knows her way around a city and the federal political systems. She's one with connections at every level of government.
And we should say that makes sense a little bit, the location here that we are at the Tohu tonight. Talk to me about Ensemble Montréal. This is a former party of Équipe Denis Coderre. Tell me a little bit about their priorities as well, what they've been campaigning on.
You know, I think she did a great job of distancing herself from Denis Coderre, who had two disastrous campaigns, ran the party into a deficit situation. They cleaned up that mess, we'll call it, and she distanced herself from him while creating her own image, her own persona for the future of Montreal. People said her campaign was a little negative. She pointed out all the things that were wrong with Montreal, all the reasons that she needs to be mayor to fix them. People argue that if you think so badly of Montreal, why would you want to take over such a mess? So there was a little bit of a negative spin put onto her whole process. She believes in decentralizing services, you know, allowing the boroughs to serve residents more directly, more accurately. For, you know, the plateau policies that we saw being applied all over the island under Projet Montréal were very unpopular in boroughs outside of the core. So she's saying that each borough deserves to have its own say. She also believes in working with developers, trying to grow our economy through development, not just the repeating message of housing, you know, social housing and being able to ask developers to pay more money. She says, wait, if we're going to ask people to give more money, we should incentivize them. We've got to work with them. They're the ones who grow our economy. I think she's talked about the retail sector. She's worked in culture, being from here,
right,
and worked with Mélanie Joly and worked with culture and then tourism. I think she'd be an interesting asset to look at culture from a more macro perspective, not just artist lofts, for example, but rather how do you bring Montreal to the world stage on promoting the arts that it is known for.
Now, she really did try to capitalize on kind of that feeling of wanting some change, perhaps, from Projet Montréal after 2 mandates. Do you think that she succeeded on capitalizing on that?
It was a very quick campaign, all things considered, you know, because Luc Rabouin presented himself as change as well, even though he's still, you know, he was part of the Projet team under Valérie Plante. He's a change from Valérie Plante, which is interesting because Valérie Plante, among Projet supporters, was very popular. Soraya Martinez is seen very much as the change. Now, there are two kinds of voters, people who like Projet and people who don't. If they don't like Projet, they're going to vote for any number of other candidates, Mr. Thibodeau, Mr. Sauvé, Mr. Kaku, or Madame Ferrada, Martinez Ferrada. So, you know, the danger here is that Projet Montréal has its core. They have their base vote. The other parties are sharing the protest vote. So if vote splitting becomes a factor, it may actually result in Projet Montréal and Luc Rabouin, you know, sneaking up the middle and getting back in.
All right. Thank you, Karim. That's all the time we have, but we'll have more throughout the show right here from the Ensemble Montréal headquarters.